How about a Coppola quick facts?
The town in Trapped in Paradise had to be virtually buried in snow so that the characters were trapped and couldn't leave. It was shot in Ontario, so it was winter at the time, but they had to have snow like piled up and all over the place. So they used supplemented real snow with 75,000 pounds of custom-made biodegradable potato flakes from Idaho.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty normal thing. You can really tell if you look closely. It's pretty fake-ass snow. This might just be Jon Lovitz being Jon Lovitz, because he's historically kind of an asshole outside of films and kind of inside of films as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But according to Jon Lovitz, director George Gallo didn't actually direct much of the movie, and he just kind of told the cast to do whatever they wanted, which I think is bullshit. But but according to Lovitz, Nicolas Cage actually directed some of the film because Gallo refused to give direction to his actors. Oh my God. Which is funny. Like this guy just was coming off of Midnight Run, which was a critically acclaimed movie.
Yeah.
And then he comes on this movie and it's just like, I'm not going to direct these people. Hey, Dana Carvey, just make a weird noise, weird voice. This whole movie.
It's funny because as I was watching, there was a few interactions where I thought like they're just improving. Like this is so it kind of checks out. They probably happen more often than we thought.
Yeah, I think that scene where like Dana Carvey and Jon Lovitz are like walking away from each other, and it's like, "Do I know you? Get away from me, you freak!" I feel like that's probably improv.
I think it was the part when they went back to the bank when he's poking at him like in the air, and they're just sort of like doing it back and forth. Like that felt really improvised.
Might be one of the top cagiest moments of the film. Dana Carvey speaks in this ridiculous, stupid voice throughout the entire movie for some reason. And he said that he loosely based his character's speaking style on a young Mickey Rourke, which...
That makes no sense.
I didn't get that at all. But like, I guess Mickey Rourke sort of talked a little higher pitch, but not like that. No, like this, the whole movie. Yeah, never talked like this in a movie.
Yeah, what the hell?
It sounded more like Michael Jackson than it did Mickey Rourke.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the criticism of this movie and the reason people hated it is because of Dana Carvey doing that stupid voice the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that took away.
It really grates on you, and it really pulls you out of everything. Every time he talks, he's like the Jar Jar Binks of this movie.
Yeah, it would work in a cartoon, but like this is,
or a movie that's like, I don't know, strictly for kids. And this is not like a kid's movie. Like it's kid friendly, it's family friendly, but it's like it almost feels like they threw him in there to be like the kid friendly character that kids would think is funny when their parents drag him to this mostly boring movie.
My problem with Dana Carvey as an actor is he's always like this. Just I think he does a lot of that stuff because to hide a lot of his inability to really act. Yeah, it's always some stupid or goofy persona that he puts on or voice, and it always pulls you out of what's supposed to be going on.
It made me think about his Master of Disguise flop movie.
Yeah,
that was terrible.
Yeah.
Like
that's exactly what comes to mind.
He's not a leading man. He can do impressions that are funny for like 2-minute skits and stuff. So, or he can play a side character. Like, he's great in Wayne's World because he's playing a side character who's, weird and funny. But like, he's not a good leading man to base a whole movie around him doing stupid voices or doing a stupid voice. And even in this, even if he's a side character like he is in this, it's still like, it's not that great.
His criticism to that, Nigel, is you do what you do, I do what I do. Okay?
I just, did nobody intervene and be like, hey, I mean, that's funny and all, but like, this is an hour and 11 or 111 minute long movie, and we're going to have to listen to your voice for like 30% of this thing.
Yeah, talking like you used inhaled helium.
I think they cut a lot of his dialogue because of it. Just scrap it.
Hey, Director Gallo, I'm thinking about talking like this the whole movie. Is that okay? I don't give a fuck. Let Nick Cage direct the movie. I don't care.
I'll make a funny face too.
How about I just gotta do this the whole time? Yeah. John Lovitz claimed that the cast hated making the movie so much that they took to calling it trapped in bullshit.
I believe that because it definitely. I feel like you could definitely tell the scenes that they shot towards the end of filming, because there are some times where it just seems like all three of them just don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck anymore. Like some of the stuff in New York before they take off, I have a feeling that shit was shot towards the end of filming.
Yeah,
because it's just so phoning it in style.
It's sad because I feel like it had a lot of potential, you know.
Yeah.
Aside from like the cheesy Hallmark Christmas style, you know, storyline and the like incredibly convenient everything throughout the entire thing, which is like one of my top criticisms of the movie is like everything is just like, oh, and then they just stumble upon this person in New York City, and then they stumble upon this person, and then it had potential. I mean, I think, you know, you put Nick Cage as kind of the straight man, but he's still funny, and Nick Cage has always had good comedy chops, so like putting the three of them together I think could have really worked. It just, I feel like they had Rain and Dana Carvey actually give a fuck about directing the movie, and John Lovitz was just John Lovitz the whole time, so there's nothing you can really fault him for. I thought John Lovitz was actually pretty good.
Did a pretty good job
throughout the movie.
Yeah,
you know, it's funny because he hadn't been in a ton of movies at this point, and for him to be like, we call that trapped in bullshit. You know, like, maybe you should shut up and just try and get your next role.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Acting.
That's what they should do. Just calm down, dude.
I mean, he's a critic, so
That's true.
That's true. Ooh, touche. You know what? Maybe they pulled that quote off of him from an SNL skit.
That was him in The Critic. Yeah.
In The Critic. Trapped in paradise, more like trapped in bullshit. Acting, thank you. I'm John Lovitz.
The three-legged dog tripod was actually added to the script when the director saw the dog and its owner among spectators watching filming while in Elora, Ontario. And it doesn't really come back in any way, I guess, like just to show more of like, oh, these people are so good and kind that they took in this three-legged dog. I don't know exactly what the hell the point was. Like just for that one joke where Nick Cage is like, "There's a three-legged dog looking at me."
Right. It really felt. I was like, did they really go find a three-legged dog? Or this really did feel like it was just added on, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
There was a three-legged dog, so they could throw it into the movie.
Well, you know, became a star. Dog
you know, there was the one joke later with but it's running away, and the cops are like, "Did we do that?"
Yeah.
That was actually a good joke. That was a good payoff.
Dog was better in this movie than Dana Carvey. This movie was hated by the critics. One calling it loaded with talent but borderline unwatchable. Trapped in Paradise will leave viewers feeling the first part of the title and pining for the last.
Well, it's a little more eloquent than saying it's trapped in bullshit.
Yeah.
Trapped in bullshit.